Everyone, we got some updates in the Kyrie Irving to the Los Angeles Lakers trade. Now, it is being reported that the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Lakers are in active trade talks and very engaged in trying to do a swap for Kyrie Irving and Russell Westbrook. So you'd imagine that if this is indeed real and they are in the active trades, then this trade is likely to happen within the next 24 hours or so. I'm sure that both sides really want to get this done, want to get it done ASAP. That's one less headache for the Brooklyn Nets to worry about, right? Get rid of Kyrie, you move off of it, and now you can focus on Kevin Durant, trying to get the best return possible for KD. The Russell Westbrook swap does make a ton of sense now, unlike ever before. Big issue was Brooklyn didn't want Russell Westbrook because you have Kevin Durant on the team, right? And now that Kevin Durant needs to be traded, Russell Westbrook makes a world of sense because now you get the financial flexibility for the future. After this season, Russell Westbrook's money falls off the books. You get a guy that can keep you competitive, especially in the Eastern Conference. So that's something that the Brooklyn Nets need too, because Brooklyn doesn't have any draft picks till 2027. So they can't tank. So the idea and goal is to you get a guy like Russell Westbrook who can kind of just be this Energizer Bunny. You have a lot of questions and concerns with Ben Simmons. We'll see what happens there. And then if he does play, you can kind of keep him in the dunker spot, things like that. And then you're going to have a good size return for Kevin Durant. Some other pieces to go around. If for whatever reason it doesn't work, you have, again, options. If you're the Brooklyn Nets and you have Russell Westbrook, the money falls off the books. You can just kind of send him home, do the John Wall route where he just is at home for the rest of the year. Say you get to like the trade deadline, you could trade him and teams would more than happy take on the last half of Westbrook's contract so it falls off. There's options. The point is that it gives you so much flexibility, so many options that you don't have prior. Last thing that the Brooklyn Nets want to do is take on a bunch of bad contracts, right? Like let's say the Hornets trade is still on the table. You don't want to take on Gordon Hayward and, Terry Rozier for the next 2 to 4 years because you're trying to be relevant. So you're better off. You have Ben Simmons. Let's say you do a trade for, Ayton and Mikal Bridges, something along those lines. Now you have this core of 3 young guys that can really help you for your future and the current state of the team. And Russell Westbrook's money falls off, and now you have all this cap space to go sign somebody else. Somebody, a big star might want out, something like that. There's options, flexibility. So the idea is to get Kyrie from a Lakers standpoint, get Kyrie on immediately, integrate him into the team. You move off of Russell Westbrook. Worst case scenario, it's a great story for the Lakers, right? Now, the Lakers are being reported they want Seth Curry over Joe Harris, which does make a lot of sense. There is a lot of questions with Joe Harris. If Joe Harris could get back to what he was, that 3-and-D quality shot maker and just defender, then I think that he would be a bigger asset for the Lakers, but costs more and there's a lot of questions, a lot of like what ifs when it comes to him. Is he going to be the same? Ankle injuries, things like that he's had several of these, so there's a lot of issues and concerns. I don't think the Seth Curry thing is going to be a make or break for this deal. I think if the Lakers have to, they'll take Joe Harris. But I think the idea is like we get Seth Curry. We need a shooter. We need a dead-eye shooter. And the Lakers don't have that currently. But you get Kyrie Irving, you have your shot maker, three-pointer shooter, a guy that can create and put points on the board for you. And then you go get a Seth Curry who can knock down shots also. That would be huge for the Lakers. So if the Lakers could end up with Kyrie Irving and Seth Curry, I think you do that. Even if you have to give up, your couple draft picks, or you got to try to make it work to get, give up THT or something like that. I'm sure it's not going to be as straightforward as Kyrie and Seth Curry for Westbrook. There's going to be probably draft picks involved. I wouldn't be surprised if THT goes, maybe even if there is a third team. I don't think it's going to be a third team taking on Westbrook. I think it's going to be a third team that maybe they want THT and a draft pick, and they'll give up, a mid-tier guy. I don't know what that is. Like, let's say they want Hayward, right? They're like, Hayward, he's on a 2-year deal. It would give us flexibility, especially after Westbrook. Maybe they kind of work something out. I don't know. We'll see what develops. But this is something that likely is good. I would imagine is going to get done in the next 24 to 48 hours tops. I think both sides know the deal is Westbrook for Kyrie. The rest is just like, what are you willing to give up and what are we willing to accept beyond that? And the Lakers, they have a lot of leverage. So I do imagine that they're going to make pretty good out of this deal. I mean, at the end of the day, even if they just got Kyrie for Westbrook, they made out on this deal, right? Because he's a much better fit, much better story, much better everything. Kyrie, LeBron, and Anthony Davis are arguably the best trio in the entire league. In my opinion, I think they are, because it's just such a natural fit. If everybody is healthy, and that's my biggest concern for the Lakers, everybody being healthy. But if everybody is healthy, then this is like the perfect combination. I mean, LeBron and Kyrie won a championship with Kevin Love. You're upgrading Love for Anthony Davis, a guy who is an absolute mismatch, shot blocker, defender, monster, everything. LeBron gets everything he wants. He can play off the ball. He can play on the ball. He can kind of take a back seat and doesn't need to score 40 points night in and night out. I mean, I'm sure he's going to get 20 plus a game just because of how good he is and just how smart he is. So LeBron's not going to suffer. But you have Kyrie and Anthony Davis as like your 1 and 2 scorers. You're in a great spot. And then LeBron can just kind of ride through the regular season. You know Anthony Davis, you know LeBron, and very likely Kyrie. You know they're all going to miss probably 20 games this year. But hopefully they don't miss them all in bulks or too many at a time, things like that. If health is right, this team, in my opinion, is the best team in the West. With all the pieces that they have, depending on what they have to give up, especially if they can make it out of this with THT still intact, because that means they can move THT in another piece and go get like another mid-tier guy. If they can, whether they get Joe Harris or Seth Curry, if they get Seth Curry, that is a home run in my opinion. If they end up with Joe Harris, I think it could still be a home run. It might even be a bigger home run depending on how Joe Harris kind of comes back into form. If he can kind of get back to the Joe Harris that we've seen in the past, then, I mean, that is an absolute steal for the Lakers. You get Kyrie and Joe Harris for, let's say, a THT and Russell Westbrook. If Joe Harris can be that guy again, he's a perfect fit. I mean, seriously, he would be just perfect for this Lakers team. And then all the pieces and everything like that. So I do think this is a matter of when, not if. I think this is going to happen very quickly. I mean, while you're watching this video, it could happen because of all the reports. But ultimately, I think that this is a done deal. I just think, again, it's just figuring out, are you willing, which side is willing to break on the little, nuances of this trade. Are the Lakers willing to give up THT for, this, or do you give up THT, maybe winning Gabriel and you get and the 2 firsts and you get Kyrie, Joe Harris and Seth Curry, maybe you do something like that. Yeah, you're losing a little bit of size. There's a lot of questions with winning Gabriel, but if this team gets Kyrie and everything it needs, then you need Joe Harris and Seth Curry over this. There's links to the Lakers going and getting Thomas Bryant. If that happens, then winning Gabriel immediately becomes expendable. There are still other big guys that are out there that are still free agents that they could sign. Winning Gabriel is a lot easier to replace than Seth Curry or Joe Harris. You know what I mean? Like, if you can get that deal done, you get it done. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think about this getting done? Do you think it happens tonight? Do you think it happens tomorrow? We are getting kind of late in the night. Again, there's no time in which they can actually make the trade. So, I mean, it could happen at 1 a.m. if they want to, depending on how it goes. But, I mean, at the time of recording this, it is 6 p.m. So I imagine that if it doesn't get done within the next 2 or 3 hours, it's probably not going to happen until tomorrow or the next day. But just wanted to provide this update for you all. Again, would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section. Do you think it's Seth Curry that they get back? Do you think it's Joe Harris they get back? Do you think maybe they work it out and try to get both back? What do you think will unfold? How do you think this trade will shape up? I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. One last little shameless plug is I did start As It Stands Lakers. It is a channel just like this, dedicated to only the Lakers, because the Lakers are my favorite team. And on this channel, As It Stands, I talk about all teams, all sports, stuff like that. We have football season coming up, so I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. And I just wanted to make a dedicated channel to the Lakers to give the ins and outs. Now, all the big stuff, all the big news and stuff, I will still post here on this channel. But if you want all the ins and outs and just rumors and theories and just discussions just strictly on the Lakers, link down in the description or in the comment section. Go check out the channel, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.